Even more earthquakes. Thank you for joining me. I'm meteorologist Brian Shields. It is Saturday, June 27th, 2026. Lots of shaking. Of course, the massive earthquakes back toward Venezuela. Elsewhere, though, we've had additional quakes. Yesterday itself was rather active. For example, back toward the Dominican Republic, 5.0 in magnitude, about 82 kilometers down. Shaking felt in Puerto Rico. The DR back toward Haiti with this one. But there were multiple solid quakes yesterday back near Nicaragua, El Salvador, Honduras, Costa Rica. Some of the shaking felt 5.2 in magnitude, about 120 kilometers down or 75 miles down. And then on top of that, we had another one yesterday on our Friday offshore of Antigua and Barbuda, offshore of Guadeloupe, 4.6 in magnitude. That one's shallower, depth around 10 kilometers or about 6 miles down. So quite a bit of activity. A lot of these in the shallow zone, some intermediate. Of course, the shallower they are, the higher chance you have to feel them. And of course, the stronger they are, the higher chance you have to feel them. Any of the ones that are really near 5 in magnitude or higher, if you're out and about, you may feel them. Under 5, if you're kind of minding your business, doing some work, you may not even notice that they do happen. But let me know if you've had any shaking. Even after giving you this video, we may have had some additional quakes. So again, let me know if you have any new quakes or you've been feeling the shaking the last few days. Different types of earthquakes out there, and I monitor this. I have a background in this, and again, I watch out for the different types because some lend themselves to a higher chance of tsunamis. Some are typically stronger than others. The recent ones from yesterday along convergent plate boundaries, so you have plates, one's underneath, one's on top. You get a little lift. Sometimes those do prompt tsunami warnings. So again, watching out for the convergent ones. Sometimes those are some bigger ones. And of course, the massive earthquake that we had, actually 2 of them, the double quakes on Wednesday. We're thinking of everyone with the rescue efforts still ongoing back through Venezuela, 7.2 in magnitude. Just to take a look back at what we've had over the past week or so, and I'll go even longer in just a second, 39 seconds after that one, it was the 7.5 in magnitude. And again, not only super strong, but very shallow, both of those quakes. And dealing with several aftershocks, and still, while we're a few days after that, more aftershocks are likely with that. This one, or actually both of those double quakes in Venezuela, that was a transform plate boundary, a strike slip quake. So you have 2 plates going past each other. It's like if you were walking by someone and you bump shoulders. That's kind of what happened there, just to kind of give you an example, of course, on such an incredible magnitude. And I mean that in the bad sense of the word, incredible. Just so devastating what has happened in Venezuela, and the scenes are so heartbreaking. This community is no doubt thinking of you, and you can see that love in the comments section. Now, we've had quite a few earthquakes over the last month or so, not just over the last few days. This one 5.1 in magnitude. This one was back on June 9th, also over toward Costa Rica in Nicaragua. This one the day before that, June 8th, 6.1 in magnitude, which was the second biggest quake on record in the Gulf. That was felt from Florida back through Cuba over toward Belize. And then on May 30th, just dipping back into late last month near Barbados and Trinidad and Tobago, 5.6 in magnitude. That was felt in St. Lucia, St. Vincent the Grenadines, Grenada, Guyana, parts of Venezuela. That was felt. And then a little bit more so ago, this one was back in March 21st, but this was a big one, 6.7 in magnitude. Again, prompted some concerns with how big this was out in the Atlantic, some of those tsunami concerns at that time. So it's not that any of these are necessarily related. I watch out for all of this stuff. I'll continue to monitor that, but I appreciate you letting me know if you have any earthquakes or any shaking. Yeah, please put it in the comments. One thing you have been putting in the comments for sure has been the dust, be it how bad it's been or if it is getting better. We're still watching some of that dust on the move in the short term. This is through the day today where you see the purples. That's where it's thicker, and even some of these, I guess, brighter yellows showing up back through the ABC Islands, Aruba, Curacao, Bonaire, parts of Venezuela, Colombia, near Haiti, Jamaica, the Cayman Islands. We've had some of the thick dust over the last 24 hours back through Cuba, watching parts of the Bahamas, even South Florida, some of the dust edging its way toward Nicaragua, Honduras, the Bay Islands, Belize, back toward the Yucatan Peninsula, Providencia and San Andres, seeing some of that dust. And then by the time we get into tomorrow, surging back toward the Bay of Campeche, Guatemala, some of the dust over toward Merida. It's going to be thick for tomorrow. And then while it lessens some, look at Texas and other parts parts of Mexico, even Louisiana, some of that dust trying to work in once we get into Monday, and another batch that is headed toward the eastern Caribbean. Not as thick as this one, but we've got more dust on the way. With that, that has been limiting some development, but one spot I'm going to watch just over the next few days near the southeast coast of the United States, there's an old front. I'll show you this in a moment. This old front may try to spin something up, we'll see, but again, a lot of dust and dry air out there. We kind of cycle between big tropical waves and areas of dust this time of year. Now out here as we work our way deeper into the Pacific, just keeping an eye in this spot here. Right now, not seeing much in the way of development. We'll monitor right over the open waters. By the way, if anything were to go to Hawaii, of course, I would be tracking that on this channel. Got you covered as well, watching the Pacific and Eastern Pacific side. Now, a little bit of this green in here, that's actually dust right there. The model picking up on that. So as we go throughout the day, we could still get a couple thunderstorms. Jamaica, Puerto Rico, just naming a few spots, not widespread, but a couple storms possible. Better chance of a couple showers. St. Lucia, Barbados south, back through Trinidad, Guyana, and Suriname. We'll watch out for some of the rain. Then as we work our way forward here into our Sunday, this is even some of the dust in here. The dust surging across. That's why there's not as much rain as we swing back here. Watching this, here's some rain here, but up here, that's actually some dust. So you can see it there. There's that next surge of dust that will be moving close. Every now and then the model picks up on it. Could see some spotty showers, maybe not Tobago, maybe a little bit more Trinidad, and then watching the dust as we get toward Antigua and Barbuda. That dust will be moving in the next pocket on Monday, and of course we've got some of that as well over here, and that's why there's not as much activity for rain on the map. Still a chance of some thunderstorms in spots. Keep me posted, but again, not widespread. Now watch this. This is where we'll keep an eye out for some development, some stronger storms possible later today. Virginia, North Carolina. Then the front just kind of hangs out. And when these fronts hang out, you get a lot of moisture building. Watch what happens over the next couple of days. This is tomorrow. Let's work our way forward into Monday. There's the front getting closer to Bermuda, straight back through Georgia and Florida. A little surge of moisture here too. Some of these storms could be big near Mexico City, lifting up to the north. But as we work our way into Monday, this spot here is what we'll be watching. We've got this moisture surge here, but this spot here, we'll see if anything does try to develop, right? It may kind of spin back toward Florida or the Gulf. And by the way, in between on Monday, right in through here, we've got some of the dust around that I was mentioning earlier, back toward Louisiana, Texas, and Mexico. Now in the bigger picture to the north, watching this sector in here, severe weather potential today, even parts of Tennessee. Watching over toward Virginia, there's some of the rain offshore of Cape Cod, mainly to the east there of the Avalon Peninsula. It'll start to get closer to Bermuda. You see it right here. This here's our Sunday, so tomorrow afternoon. That's the front that's almost going to get stuck in place. Here we have that surge of some of that dust that is around, kind of working its way back toward the north temporarily, keeping some things quieter. That rain getting closer to Bermuda later on Monday, in Monday night, and then right through here, this is where we'll be watching to see if anything does develop. Some of this rain actually just gets stuck, and it actually may work its way back, as I mentioned, toward Florida and then into the Gulf. And that's why we'll see if it does develop. As of now, it looks like a low chance of development, but something we'll be watching together as we go forward. Watching the seas as we go through the day. This is a 3-day loop. This is tomorrow, working our way into Monday. Just a little choppier in the central sections of the Caribbean Atlantic passageways. We're actually looking okay at this point. Again, a lot of dry air, not seeing any huge tropical waves moving by. Scattered storms around though in Florida. With that, back toward Georgia, 2 to 3 inches of rain. Could get clipped by a couple showers, parts of the Bahamas. And again, the rain chance here is low, but it's not zero. Jamaica, we could get a pop-up storm. Cayman Islands, 1 or 2. Cuba, Haiti, the DR, back through Puerto Rico. Watching out for some of the dust though, and then we'll get that next batch of dust starting to roll into these areas once we work our way into Monday. So for us in St. Kitts and Nevis, Sebastacia, small chance of a shower. Anguilla, St. Martin, St. Bart's, back through the British and U.S. Virgin Islands, but that dust will move in again Monday into Tuesday. Antigua, Barbuda, Montserrat, even Guadeloupe. Guadeloupe to the south, back through Dominica, may catch a shower. Same thing, St. Lucia, and we could get a few spotty showers. Barbados, St. Vincent the Grenadines, Grenada, Trinidad and Tobago, a little bit more. Suriname, Guyana, northeastern sections of Venezuela, not as much through the ABC Islands, a little quieter in northern Venezuela, northern Colombia. Scattered areas of rain back through Central America, including Panama, Panama, Costa Rica. But again, the rain chance is down a bit because of some of the dry air and the dust. Some bigger storms are possible still in and around Mexico City, and we'll be watching some of that lifting up to the north. And here's some of that weather again, that front that will be hanging out in that, some substantial rain in some spots. So again, rain chance lower, but not zero for us. Jamaica, we're looking at about a 20 to 30% chance of a pop-up storm. Could even have one or two at nighttime. Cayman Islands, a 20 to 30% chance. Few spotty showers, Trinidad and Tobago, but again, Tobago, it is a little bit less. We're looking at about a 30% chance. Trinidad, roughly about a 50% chance. So a slight difference. The more south you are, better chance of rain. 30 to 40% chance in Barbados. In building somewhat by Monday, a better chance of a few showers back through St. Lucia. 30% chance today in Grenada, a 40% chance tomorrow. As we work our way into St. Vincent the Grenadines, Sunday and Monday, rain chance about 40%. 30 to 40% chance holds the next few days in Martinique, a 30 to 40% chance in Dominica, higher by the time we get into Monday. Monday as well, back into Guadeloupe, rain chance will be up to 50%. Back to Antigua and Barbuda, rain chance 30 to 40%. Not super high, but we could catch a shower. Not super high, St. Kitts and Nevis and Montserrat, and watching that dust. In Gwil and St. Bart's, 10 to 20% chance, 10 to 20% chance. St. Martin, Saba, and Statia, an isolated shower storm. One or two could be strong. It is hot out there, so while the atmosphere is a little drier, there is still a lot of heat energy. So again, if you get a storm, it could be on the strong side. U.S. and British Virgin Islands, small chance of a passing shower. The Bahamas, northern, central, southern, rain chance staying low, very isolated showers around. Turks and Caicos monitoring some of the dust. Couple pop-up storms back through Haiti possible by the time we get into Monday. Across the DR, rain chance up to about 40%. Belize, we're looking at a 30 to 40% chance. Yesterday, we had some bigger storms in some spots. Aruba, Curacao, and Bonaire, rain chance holding at about 20%. Can't rule out a shower. About a 60% chance, though, in Guyana. That's where we have a higher chance, of 50 to 60% chance the next 3 days back through Suriname. Rain chance pretty minimal today in Cuba. It'll start to build some with a few afternoon storms. 40 to 50% chance, Costa Rica and Panama. 30 to 40% chance the next 3 days in Nicaragua, and holding on to an even 30% chance the next few days in Honduras. Rain chance a little higher today, Guatemala and El Salvador. Then it backs off tomorrow and Monday. We're down to a 30% chance. Mexico City, though, we're still active. Rain chance 70%. By the time we get into Monday across the Yucatan Peninsula, slightly better chance of getting some showers and storms, and a 30% chance in northern Colombia. About a 30 to 40% chance northern sections of Venezuela. By Monday night in particular, a better chance of rain as we get into Bermuda with that front that is closing in. Afternoon, evening storms, they continue. Central Florida and Orlando, slightly better chance as well back through Tampa. South Florida, we're looking at about a 30 to 40% chance. Palm Beach over toward the Keys, Miami included, back through Fort Myers. Houston, rain chance staying on the small side, and we could have some of that dust around, especially Sunday into Monday, tomorrow into Monday, some of that dust. So monitoring the earthquake activity. Keep me posted in the comments section. We've had increased activity in the region. Areas of dust on the move, and I'll monitor some of the tropical waves out there. Hopefully we could actually get some to bring some spots, some needed rain at this point. So I hope you're doing well. Be safe and have a really good weekend ahead.